what's trending. Well, in Killington, Vermont, a few truly passionate and committed skiers were not going to wait for the lifts. May 19th in Vermont saw temperatures in the mid or even high 70s. These skiers enjoyed their final runs of the season on snow that's melting so quickly it feels like something else entirely. And at Killington this week, diehards have been doing what diehards do this time of year. They're hiking up the mountain, yes, on foot, because the ski lifts just aren't running. It's not easy, though. That climb is grueling, especially when you're carrying your skis, and then there are bald patches you have to contend with as well. And there's no ski patrol on days like this, so it's at your own risk. But you guys, when I saw this story, I figured that we just had to talk about it because I've actually went and skied Killington Mountain in Vermont. It is beautiful, and it's probably my favorite place I've ever gone skiing. Definitely in the top 3. It's an amazing mountain. There's so much there, but as you can tell, that is just the last of it. They're probably on like the last main run. But look at them. They're having plenty of fun, and glad to see them taking advantage of that little bit of snow there. But hard to believe that snow is even there with these temperatures in the high 70s. Right,
that is so bizarre, but it's really cool to see. I actually have not even been skiing yet, so, okay, don't judge. I see you shaking your head. Okay, but I would love to do that and try something like this. It looks like a beautiful place.
Yeah, and really it just depends on how much snow is on the ground. If there was plenty of snow on the ground, that can allow it to kind of stick around for a little while, but yeah, they're having a great time. I mean, they're even ditching all the coats and everything else, so this is kind of the most interesting skiing that I know I've seen yet.
Yeah, spring skiing is always big too. It's always fun to like go out there in shorts or a t-shirt when you can, and just enjoy that soft snow.
Right.
Yeah, for sure. But speaking of warmer weather conditions, let's head down to Florida. Police officers in Florida had to wrangle a 6-foot hangry alligator that was chasing customers through a Wendys parking lot. No biggie, though. Working with wildlife officials, officers stayed frosty, get it, and were able to wrangle the animal, getting concerned customers out of the pickle. The gator was then safely relocated. Alligators often exhibit aggressive behavior during mating season, but officials later tweeted this gator may have been hangry for a cheeseburger. And I mean, I'm sure that everybody knows that it's Gator Central down there in Florida, okay? But yeah, I want to know, like, did he want a cheeseburger or one of the customers? I think he probably wanted both. But yeah, that's quite frightening that he was just out there chasing them. I mean, I would have lost it.
That must have been a funny call to get, like, as a dispatcher, right? Like, oh, there's a gator chasing me through the Wendys parking lot, but yeah, I'm sure maybe the smells from the Wendys might have attracted the gator or whatnot, or maybe there was, people were throwing away their food or something like that. Yeah. But whatever the case, glad to see those people are going to be more safe now.
Yeah, I mean, plus, I mean, you can smell, a lot of times you can smell the food outside of a restaurant, so it's very possible that may have attracted this gator in. And of course, people usually have to do a little bit of gator wrestling to get that gator pretty much safe and sound and relocated and kind of away from the customers too. Because I don't know, I would be running pretty quickly too if I was near one of those gators. So they keep it as far away from me. This is why I'm thankful to live in Wisconsin. But meanwhile, there going overseas to something that's even more terrifying. An unexplained incident involving a skyscraper sent thousands of people fleeing into the streets, and officials were left scratching their heads. Thousands of people were caught on camera running in panic through the streets of a South China city after a skyscraper reportedly started to sway and inexplicably the nearly 1,000-foot SEG Center began to wobble. Despite no reports of earthquakes or windy weather, the bizarre occurrence prompted an evacuation of roughly 15,000 people and caused a panic scene in the streets. Officials say no injuries were reported and no building abnormalities were found. That is sketchy. I mean, just look at that video right there. There's people just running away in terror from a building that's like swaying for, apparently they can't figure out the reason. So how just crazy is that? Just look at that.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I mean, it must have been terrifying to be there, but it's almost like a scene out of a movie, right? With people just like flooding down the streets. Really glad that the building is obviously still standing, but it's, it raises so many questions. Why was it moving like that? Especially if they say that the structural integrity, was okay. But Yeah, really strange story there.
Yeah, no abnormalities or whatever. Nothing was found wrong with that. Everything was wrong with that. Like, you know, when have you ever heard of a building moving? That's not supposed to happen. So I would have been terrified.
Yeah, and a building moving for apparently no reason as well. I mean, there's got to be a reason behind it, and they just couldn't find it. So I don't know.
Windy day, Devin?
We'll have to see what.
Maybe it was a windy day.
Yeah, maybe it was a windy day. They just won't admit it. I mean, the farther up you go, there's less friction, so they might be hitting that building, and they just didn't realize it. Who knows?